Module 4. The houses and the angles. Quadrants and hemispheres. The chart wheel can be divided up into 4 hemispheres, north, south, east and west, and 4 quadrants, first, second, third and fourth. Emphasized hemispheres. Eastern. You are self-reliant and highly resourceful. You prefer to initiate action and remain in control. You might take on more than you can manage. Western. You prefer to let fate take charge of your life. Sociable and amiable, you're often in the right place at the right time. It's easy to sit back and let things happen. Northern. You are worldly and sophisticated with many outside interests. Detached and subjective, you quickly learn how to manipulate circumstances to your advantage. You're concerned with your image and worry about what people think of you. Southern. You are objective, emotionally dominated and might lack confidence. You prefer security to adventure. Although sometimes moody, you also have a wealth of imagination. The Northern Hemisphere contains the 1st to 6th houses, the South the 7th to 12th, the East the 10th to 3rd and the West the 4th to 9th. If one hemisphere contains a much higher proportion of planets than the others, then it is more dominant. Each quadrant is an area bound by 2 of the 4 angles. The first contain the 1st, 2nd and 3rd houses, the 2nd the 4th, 5th and 6th houses, the 3rd the 7th, 8th and 9th houses and the 4th, the 10th, 11th and 12th houses. Hemispheres and quadrants that are emphasized help you to gain a quick impression of the chart. Similarly, if a hemisphere or quadrant is empty, this indicates a lack of something. Emphasized quadrants. First, you concentrate your focus on personal growth, identity and self-enrichment. You are strong, assertive and self-motivated. Second, you are focused on outward development, the integration with the world through family, romantic and career relationships. You are relationship-oriented. Third, you are focused on how your actions and beliefs impact the world as well as your most intimate relationships. You are ambitious and adaptable. Fourth, you are focused on your relationship with a larger social group and find satisfaction in your public status. You are independent and ambitious. House systems. A house system is the scheme for calculating the 12 house cusps, based on the place and time of the chart. There are dozens of systems and they give slightly different house cusp positions. Not only do the size of houses change, but planets and cusps rules can also shift between houses. If there is no time of birth, it isn't possible to calculate the houses. Because computer software demands that you add a time, most astrologers use noon and then ignore the house cusps in those instances. If you use an estimated time, you might have to look at a planet in the house preceding or following the one that it appears in based on the time you have used. Often this can help you to work out a more accurate time. In most systems, the ascendant is the 1st house cusp and the midheaven the 10th cusp. This means that the cusps of the 1st, 4th, 7th and 10th houses will be the same in these systems. However, the cusps of the other houses might vary. These systems are called quadrant house systems. The mathematics involved is based on using different ways to divide astronomical great circles and is too complex for us to go into here. Common house systems. Equal. A very old system, dating back to the 1st century BCE. The cusps of the equal house system are formed by an equal division of the ecliptic into 12 30-degree sectors starting from the ascendant. Placidus, the most popular system. It uses a combination of space-time measurements for calculation. Porphyry. Dating from the 3rd century CE, this method was derived to make sure that the midheaven coincided with the cusp of the 10th house. In this system, the distance between the angles is simply divided into 3 to provide the other house cusps. Coke. A modern system similar to Placidus that is mainly used in Germany. Regiomontanus. A quadrant system that was very popular in the 70th century and is now used mainly by Ha'ari astrologers. The house cusps. The cusps are the boundary lines between houses. The cusps itself is often considered to be the strongest point of influence for the house, rather than the start of that influence. The influence of the house gradually tapers off as you approach the next cusp. As the Earth rotates each day, the entire zodiac appears to rotate over our heads. This means that the zodiac point that correspond to the house cusps move completely around the zodiac every 23 hours and 56 minutes. On average, a house cusp changes zodiac signs every 2 hours, which is why accurate birth times are necessary to set up a birth chart. The zodiac position, degree sign minute, of each house cusp in a chart is usually printed just outside the circle next to the cusp line. Angles. The ascendant, rising sign and 1st house cusp, descendant, 7th house cusp, midheaven, 10th house cusp, and IC, 4th house cusp, are referred to as the angles of the chart. They are amongst the most powerful and important points in your chart, and as they are calculated according to the date, time and place of birth, these points are highly personal. They represent ways that you express your energies to the world at large and how you experience your environment. Any planets close to the angles are strengthened. The sign of the ascendant, the planet that rules that sign, and the planets near to it describe how you approach life and view the world. It is how people view you at a first impression and a mask that you wear to hide your true self. Once people get to know you better, they will begin to recognize you through your sun sign. If your sun sign and rising sign are the same, it means you express your true self to the world. The descendant is the opposite point to the ascendant and shows how you relate to others. Planets that are close to or make an aspect to the descendant have an influence on relationships. Your descendant is the place where you can connect with another and describes your experience of, and approach to, relationships. It reflects your relationships with those around you and what you project onto others, what you need from them, want from them, and what you are willing to take from them. The sign on the descendant describes the type of partner you seek and attract. It reveals the motivations behind your attitudes towards partnerships. Because the 7th house is also that of open enemies, the sign on the descendant also describes the traps we make for ourselves and our expectations of relationships and our contribution to them. At the highest point of your chart, the midheaven describes what you aspire to. It also describes your mother and your relationship with her. The IC, Imam Cheli, is the point opposite the midheaven and forms the cusp of the 4th house. It describes where you are coming from and is associated with your family. It also describes your father and your relationship with him. The IC describes your home, domestic environment, and family members. It refers to your deep past and the ending of your life. The ways in which you ultimately resolve issues or end things are also symbolized by the IC. House types. The 12 houses can be arranged into 3 groups: angular, 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th; succedent, 2nd, 5th, 8th, and 11th; cadent, 3rd, 6th, 9th, and 12th. An angular house sits on an angle. The angles are the 4 cardinal points of the chart: the ascendant, descendant, midheaven, and IC. Planets in these houses are strengthened by their position. Whatever the planet represents, it shows its force swiftly and dynamically. The angular houses represent seats of power, places of familiarity and control. Planets placed in succedent houses are neither strengthened nor weakened. The succedent houses are the 2nd, 5th, 8th, and 11th houses. The succedent houses are so named because the planets within succeed by the movement of the houses to the cardinal position. Planets placed in cadet houses are weakened. The word cadent means fallen. A planet in a cadent house has been carried away from the cardinal position, symbolizing something that has moved from a position of power into a condition of weakness or fall from grace. The houses can also be divided into groups by element in the order fire, earth, air, and water. Fire, 1st, 5th, and 9th. Earth, 2nd, 6th, and 10th. Air, 3rd, 7th, and 11th. Water, 4th, 8th, and 12th. Fire houses are focused on achieving life's aspirations. Earth houses focus on meeting material needs. Air houses focus on social contract and mind sharing. Water houses focus on achieving emotional tranquility.